Hey everyone, Cybill Sixpence here, and welcome back. Last month we started this snowy adventure with a Viking gathering hall tutorial, and since then I've been adding more builds through speed builds to bring this village to life. Today we're finishing the series with a simple Nordic fishing hut tutorial. It's the perfect final touch. Here's your materials list, so let's get started. Because this is a fishing build, you're going to want to find yourself a nice little space just along the banks of your village. If you don't have a really good space, you can try terraforming a little bit. I honestly had to terraform some of my space. This is why you see some green grass underneath the snow. This build was not intended to be a one chunk challenge, although this build will fit in a chunk as it is a 17 by 17 build. In between most of the posts, you will find a 4-block empty space, except for the one in the center, which is 5 spaces. I will fill in the gaps of each post with spruce slabs and then cap each post with a dark oak slab. Continuing with the spruce slabs, I'm going to fill in all the space in the center. This will not only be my dock, but also the foundation to my house. Hang on a minute while I get rid of the snow out of my building area. So I'm going to want my fishing dock to match the rest of my town. If you use different materials in your Viking town or your Nordic town, you go ahead and use those so that your dock matches your town. I built mine with deep slate tiled blocks and stairs. I'm using the same pattern I have done with majority of my towns, where it is a stair and then a block and then a stair and then a block, and I'm going to continue to go until they meet at the top. My measurement for the living quarters of the fishing hut is an 11 by 13. I'm also adding a downwards facing stair block underneath each block of tiled deep slate. Now that my roof is starting to connect, I'm going to insert a ventilation section. Once I see I'm nearing the top, I'm going to count 3 from each of the outside part of my roof, and I'm going to break away those blocks. I'm going to replace them with some stripped spruce logs. This will be considered my ventilation portion of my roof. I've only elevated the spruce 1 block higher than my roof, but I'm going to continue my roof pattern on top of the ventilation section. I am going to run a spruce log right along the top part of the main portion of the house and then break out the middle for the ventilation section. I'm going to add spruce fencing, then 1 more spruce log at the very top, where I will now start doing some decorating. On each of the ends of the spruce log, I'm going to be adding stairs over end to give it that arch look that matches most of the rest of the village. Then I'm going to fill the under roof with some spruce log. So now we're going to break away some blocks. It's about 1 block away from the edge of the roof. We're going to break those down all the way on both sides and replace those with spruce planks. After we have filled that in with our spruce planks, we're going to go back in with some spruce stairs and some spruce trap doors. We want our ventilation area to look like the rest of the house. So we're going to break away those stairs that's right there at the stripped spruce logs, and we're going to add those planks and those stairs and the trapdoors just the same way as we did for the rest of the house. Just underneath the last stair on both sides of the house, we're going to pop out those logs and add another stair underneath it for support. For our inside and side walls, we're going to start with a row of cobble blocks and then start filling in our wall area with some spruce planks, and then fill in the rest of that side wall with oak planks. We're going to use oak planks all the way up to the top of our hut on both sides. So our door area and the majority of our wall space is going to be filled with composts, and that'll be on both sides. I did use spruce trap doors as kind of like a place for our fishermen to maybe clean some fish for us, kind of like a tool table or a shelf. The rest of the roof area will be filled with some spruce stairs and some trapdoors, which I will show you momentarily. So now let's punch more holes in our fishing hut as we now start to decorate our wall. I'm using some spruce logs and some buttons and some trapdoors and some spruce stairs to decorate the bottom portion. For my window look, I opened up 2 blocks worth of space, and then on the top block space I entered an oak stair and then used a spruce trap door under the stairs and in front of the stairs with a spruce gate. For additional framework, I am using a spruce slab with some fencing near the top portion of the house, and I tucked away a little compost that I can put leaves on later for decoration. Where I added my spruce trimming on the edges of my house, I'm also using stairs head over end to give it that Viking-esque look. Back to the inside of the house, I'm going to be using some spruce logs to give it some support beam, where I will also hang some lighting on it because it gets really dark in the house. And then I'm going to be using spruce stairs and spruce blocks to trim that up and doing a little bit of decoration with some barrels and a cauldron and some spider webs that I thought looked really good as fishing net, and of course a crafting table or two. We want our roof to have a nice finished look, so we're going to be adding some spruce stairs and some spruce trap doors along the deep slate tiles so that we don't see that and it looks finished. And then, because it still gets dark, we're going to add in some glowstone, which we are going to actually tuck away and hide behind our spruce trap doors. Nobody's going to see it, nobody will know it's there. The moment you realize you forgot to put compost on the other side, so you start over. But the same thing will still apply with our barrels and our spider webs and crafting tables. However, let's go work on a pathway. So my pathway is semi-random, semi-not random. I want my mud blocks to be relatively center of the pathway, but where I place them in the center is still pretty random. On the outside, as I move towards the outside of the pathway, it's a little bit more dry. I'm going to put my coarse dirt, some podzol in it, and then the empty spaces in the middle, I'm going to leave that as pathway. And the reason why I felt like the mud needed to be in the center is because snowy biome, and I figured as the snow is being crunched on and stepped on, it's going to make it wet, and so it would be muddy. Now, we don't want any of those blocks to be covered up by the snow when it does snow, so we're going to put string on top of all of those blocks. Oh, where did he go? Well, before he gets too lost, we'll just turn the lights off and then back on after he registers to a bed. Now we've got him. Adding more detail to our roof ventilation area with some buttons on anything that didn't have some stairs added, I think it makes it much more heavy, which to me makes it very Viking-esque. Using some iron chains, I'm going to go around to each of my posts and I'm going to connect them. I actually love that I can make these vertical. And then I'm just going to throw in some spruce leaves over my compost that I had mentioned earlier. And just as a final touch, I'm going to use some acacia fencing to add a very small lamp post right here to make sure that the area is well lit. If you already have a lamp post idea, go ahead and use yours instead. And that's it. The Nordic fishing hut is complete and our icy tundra village is finished. Let me know your favorite build or what kind of tutorial you would like to see in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for more Minecraft tutorials and speed builds. See you next time!